Dirty Mouth Radio.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Comedic Energy. This is Dirty Mouth Radio.
Good.
What's poppin'?
I need more snare in my headphones.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is Golden.
Oh, this is Cray Noop.
We got a special guest. This is the second episode, y'all. And we got a special guest out here. I ain't gonna introduce him.
I will. My man. Nah, go ahead. You
He
get
can
that.
introduce himself, man. This is the man, the legend over here.
What's good, world? It's Kyrell Scott, representing Winterflow Records. I'm here to just represent Creative Mind Alliance, Dirty Mouth Records, man, or Dirty Mouth Radio. Sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Dirty Mouth Records.
Hey, it go with both. Maybe I can join Winterflow.
I'll go with
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's make this money. Let's
Yeah.
make this money.
Hey, but yeah, we here, man. Here to make some noise, here to make history, man. So yeah, let's do it.
Straight like that.
Let's do it.
Remember, this is all produced by Livewire Sound and Entertainment. Yup.
What, Golden, how you get my phone? What you trying to do over there?
Them
Oh, you
Instagram.
trying to
She
sneak them
looking at
pictures
the
in here, girl?
DMs. She want to see them DMs.
Pictures. All right, coming up in here looking all flowery.
Yes, she know.
I love that dress.
Oh, thank you.
I like the hair too. The hair is dope.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
hair
thank
is
you.
Like last time I seen it, it was like long. I'm like, dang, you done came in with the new.
Yeah,
new
that,
style.
when you cut it, I was like, oh, game changer.
Yeah, that new.
That shit was sexy.
Where your new earrings at? That's what you need.
I need to stop.
So
I
I
need to
can,
stop.
so I can hula hoop my way up in
Right.
there.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Yo, what's it been, like 2 weeks since the last one? What's everybody been up to? I always ask that question.
Budgeting like a motherfucker. Boy.
I know that story.
Shit.
Damn.
By the end of the list, you be like, God damn, when do I got time to eat?
And that's when you start looking at your bank account like, dog, did I? Yeah, that's me.
right. Like, hold on, I
damn
ain't
well.
buy no chicken. When I buy chicken?
No,
Oh,
that-
shit, I
yeah,
did
no.
buy that motherfucking turkey and
Yeah,
shit.
that's when you start going through your history, your transaction history. You're like,
Right.
bullshit.
Calling the bank up, hey, hold on, I ain't purchased
Yeah.
no goddamn Funyuns and shit. When the fuck did I do that?
Exactly.
Actually-
And you be trying to look through the stuff that you purchased, trying to get a refund. Like,
Hell
nah,
yeah,
it's
no
already past that
bullshit.
14 days.
Hell yeah.
Right, then you be sad as shit. don't let you have gone to college and shit. Then you
Oh,
looking at that shit like,
shit.
God damn, why the fuck did I go to college?
Right. You know you ain't
I
getting that
should-
money back.
I should have just did
No.
YouTube.
Shit.
I know that story. That's what I said. What the world?
Back with the college moves, boy. That Chicken King shit. God
Word.
damn, nigga. God.
That shit is
I
real.
should have just Googled motherfucking anatomy and shit.
Right. What does NASA mean?
What the fuck is arts and crafts?
What is the stuff I'ma really need in real life?
Damn. Man, there's been a lot of shit in the news. A lot of shit just been going on from the last episode to this joint. What y'all think about some of this shit?
I don't know, man. All I know is that little what's his name? Your president and shit.
Ain't
Be
my
on the
president.
news like every single
That ain't my
day.
motherfucking president.
He over here telling reporters to sit down and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he do from day one.
You had enough. No, that was shit was G though. I was like, oh shit, that was some G ass shit. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I seen when he was actually in front of world leaders and they laughed at his ass.
Word.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we did almost. What do you say? We did the most in U.S. history, almost the most, and everybody just started busting out laughing.
What?
At it. Yeah, that shit was
Are
crazy.
you
I didn't
serious?
see that.
Bro, he was like, yeah, I didn't expect that reaction, but yeah, there it is. They was like, bro, if you don't sit your ass down.
Dude, like, dude, you standing in front of pictures that you don't know nothing about.
Right, exactly.
Oh, you're talking about, this Harriet Tubman and shit. Motherfucker, it's the Tuskegee Airmen and shit on horses and shit. The fuck?
The
fuck?
Yo, with
The fuck?
Hurricane
Oh,
Florence, he was
shit.
like, yo, like a boat had ended up on somebody's house. He was like, yo, at least you got a free boat out of it.
What?
Yeah, I did hear
See
that.
that?
shit. I heard
Yeah.
that
Oh,
shit.
that's
Yeah.
some
He
fuck.
been
Oh,
saying
that's
full shit
cold.
for
Yo,
a
I was
minute.
That's
Yo.
some cold
I'm like,
He did
shit.
that shit with the hurricane last year when it
Yeah,
hit
he
Puerto
did.
Rico.
He
He
did.
was like, I'm going to speak with the president of Puerto Rico. Like, motherfucker.
That's
Shit.
your ass.
Like, for real?
That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
I cracked up laughing with that shit, yo.
The fuck? They don't be writing this shit down before he open his mouth. Like,
Nah.
hey,
They
hold,
probably do
Hey.
his fool ass like the improv and then it'll look
right.
stupid.
I would have been like, block.
Right.
Hold the fuck up. Hold the
Hey,
fuck
hold
up.
up, write it down on
Don't
a
say
piece of
shit
paper.
yet. Sir, Mr. President, don't say a fucking thing. Read this line before you open your fucking mouth next time.
Yo,
My mom is in this.
I seen some good examples. Shit, Follow the Cleveland show. They was like, yo, hey, write it down on this piece of paper, and I'll let you know if you can actually say this out loud. He read it and said, nah, you can't do that.
You gotta have that motherfucker hand them cue cards and shit. Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Hey, shit, have a dog chain around him like how you do with the dogs.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Hold up.
Yeah,
Hold
get that
up.
shit right.
Like, cue cards.
Yeah.
Cue cards. They gotta be his fucking mom and shit.
Hey,
His
right.
ass don't know what to say.
Shit, yo.
Somebody need to find that audio box and plug that mic, man.
Right, boy, he been in the news every day. You know when Obama was in office, they was talking about this man. He was in the news, but they wasn't talking about nothing president related.
Nah.
They over here talking, what kind of dog does he have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
much
tall is
weed?
it?
How much weed he smoke?
Right.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
his wife?
Yeah.
How tall is she? Oh, she's doing shit with the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, they never talked about this man's lawyer and shit. And what the fuck happened to one of his motherfucking reservoirs and shit.
Nah, shit. We talk about Trump destroying everything, bro.
Fucking
It's
shit
real, man.
all the way the fuck up.
It's real,
But I
bro.
feel like I be feeling like America like that shit though, man.
Yeah,
They feed off that drama shit, man.
some of them do.
I feel
Dang.
like I can't even imagine how much ratings the news has probably gotten since this man got into office.
But you gotta think about it too, man. They feed off that drama, but y'all gotta remember, Trump is the king of reality TV. He know that drama shit. He know people feed off that shit.
Facts.
That's how he got his ass in the motherfucking office to start with.
Facts.
He started that bullshit on the campaign trail, talking about everybody, talking about people with special needs and all that. You know, people fed off that shit and they wanted that shit.
They wanted somebody new in office. They ain't want no politician. So
Fuck
they wanted
no.
they wanted to change up the game. It was like, yo, you know what? We done had the Clintons, we done had the Obamas. Let's put somebody who ain't never been in politics before.
Yeah.
And see how he do.
No bullshit.
So you think it was just like one of those like we just about to switch the game up?
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
like, I mean that's what it was.
shit.
I mean, cause you like back like no young kids was like really voting back then. So it's like, yo, let's just put somebody in there. Fuck it.
So basically, America was on some motherfucking. We used to be P Diddy, now we Sean Puffy Combs and shit type shit. That's what the type of shit they was
Straight
on.
up, yo.
That's some old fucking bullshit. That's the most fucked up shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yo.
They said they
But
need a
you know
wild
what?
card in that bitch,
That's
man.
what it was, man.
He
Well,
is
that's what they
definitely
got.
a wild ass card.
No bullshit.
That
Yeah,
motherfucker's
motherfucker.
crazy.
The
Fully.
people who voted for him, they ended up backing out. Like a couple months in, it was like, yo,
Yeah.
what the fuck did we do?
But now they trying to say he incompetent
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
and he crazy.
Right.
Y'all knew that from the
They
jump.
did.
Yeah.
do that.
They
But
knew
see,
what they
like
was
I be
doing.
thinking about this shit too. Like me, like when I see people on TV, I always think about like I don't never think about like what they saying or what they doing at that moment. I always think about like what's happening behind the scenes. Like after he closed that meeting door, is this motherfucker stressed the fuck out? Like he's like, yo, why the fuck did I say that dumbass shit? Like
Probably not.
I want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I just want to die right now. Like you know what I'm
He
saying?
probably
Like
be
what kind of
saying that
shit?
Like I said that shit now. What the fuck?
I
What
don't
y'all
know
gonna
because
do?
like everybody, you gotta think like everybody's a human, and everybody at some point in time feels fucked up about some fucked up shit that they might have done. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just like, you know what I'm saying, the human manslayer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just kill people just for the joy.
Well, if
Like
you
at some
remember-
point, so you gotta feel bad about one of those
Yeah.
murders.
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm
it's
saying?
usually they only feel bad about that shit when they get called out on it. If they don't get called out on it, they like, well, shit, this ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like usually if you're a serial killer, they gonna keep killing until you get called out. It's like, are you really sorry? Like, are you sorry you did it? Or are you sorry you got caught?
Yeah, I feel you on
Yeah,
that one.
like what's the psychological like? What is that? I be wondering that shit because I seen him today on TV, and they was asking him something about somebody. He was like, "It's my lawyer." Dude looked like he was on crack.
Yeah.
Like his head was all over here, his eyes was bloodshot red. He was sitting there like, "Yo, I can't fucking do this shit anymore."
Yeah.
Like the fucking FBI, they're
Oh,
fucking
niggas
cut
be
my
dropping
ass.
out of office. Like, they be
Oh,
dropping
yeah.
out his camp. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, they like,
They
yo,
all
what the
getting
fuck are
bagged.
we-
That's what
yeah.
the fuck that is.
Yeah.
He's next.
Yeah.
His lawyers got bagged. All of them motherfuckers got bagged.
Yeah.
His ass is next.
Yeah.
But my thing is this, man. If they ever get to the point where they bag this motherfucker, in my opinion, I feel like it's gonna get worse with the vice president. I think that motherfucker's even
He know
worse
better.
than fucking Trump.
Yeah.
And he just chilling, waiting for his opportunity, yo. And that scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna get.
I mean that.
too deep
Yeah,
into
I mean,
shit.
like you said, that's somebody who backing him up. Like that's he chose him for a reason.
Yeah.
He needed somebody in his ear who was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's go with that.
You seen how his wife went over to Africa and shit.
Yeah, I seen that.
So
yeah.
I was at work today and shit, and motherfuckers was coming into the motherfucking and little break area or whatever, and the shit was on TV. They was talking about how she was over there in Ghana.
Yeah.
Niggas was like, oh, they were like the first time she's made an international trip or some shit like that. And everybody was like, that's not an international trip. She went to the islands. She went to Ghana. She went to the islands. I'm like,
Are you serious?
are y'all fucking crazy? Ghana is a fucking island?
Wow.
Shit.
It was
They
like,
said that in the break room.
yeah, there was like some white girl was like, where is Ghana? Where is Ghana? I was like, it's in Africa.
This is at a known unknown place of employment.
I was
We
like,
ain't gonna name that.
Shorty was like, she was like, where is Ghana? I was like,
Oh,
it-
Lord,
it's
I
in,
gotta quit.
look, I was, it's in Africa. It is. That's why those people are wearing those colors.
Come on, man.
That don't make no
That's why the
damn
flags
sense, man.
are like in their hands like this. When she's getting off the plane, you know, the kids are just
Right.
dancing with the flag. That
Wow.
says Africa on
You
it.
should have told her it was in Wakanda. See what she said.
Oh yeah, you know, the Panther was there.
Yeah.
The whole team and
The
shit.
whole team was there. Yeah.
They was all there. They was
Oh,
dressed up and
shit.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
She didn't know. I mean, shit. I get fucked up with geographical maps and shit. Dog,
Yeah.
I didn't realize so many places was in Africa, bro.
Yeah.
It's so many different types. Like one day, I was just on the computer, just looking up people.
Yeah.
Like I was just looking up different types of people, and it would show you like where the area and region that they come from of Africa is, bro. And it's just so many places. You got people in Africa who look like they from Asia and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was so. It's not just like fucking Egypt and goddamn. Even though motherfuckers from Egypt try to act like
They
they
in
ain't
the
not
Middle
in
East.
Africa
It's
and
that
shit.
whole
Oh, this is the
sub-Saharan
Middle
Africa
East,
bullshit.
nigga.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Africa. Shut the
Yeah,
fuck up with
yeah.
that shit.
Hell yeah.
It's the whole what is Africa's a continent?
Continent.
Yeah.
It's the whole continent.
It's
You know what I'm
crazy,
saying?
man. They say we traveled everywhere though.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we got people. They said the first samurai was black.
Oh, what?
The first samurai.
I've heard that
was
story too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard that story.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's got to be a little something to that.
They said it's some type of code where, in order for you to be a samurai, you have to have a little bit of African blood in you.
Oh,
I heard that on a documentary, man. That shit was deep as fuck. I was like, God damn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a story about an ancient man who lived on a mountain. In order to survive, he took the abilities, or he mimicked the abilities of the animals that lived in the nature around him, and that's how he came up with the different martial arts styles,
Damn.
That's dope.
like the tiger style and the hidden crane and all that shit like that. He said that's how he survived on that mountain for like years and shit.
Damn.
That's what it said. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how true that is, but it sounds like it could be true because there are tigers and cranes over there in Asia.
That's dope.
Man, that's real as fuck, man.
Yeah, I had to do a project on samurais one time. Shit was dope. It's the dopest shit I've ever done in my life. Samurais and ninjas. Oh my god.
Yeah. That was always my Halloween costume.
Word.
Yeah.
Yo, ninjas are like some really, really like that shit. It was crazy, like doing a study behind, like when you go and you study shit,
Yeah.
and you study like the myth, and then you study the reality. The reality don't be so far off from the myths and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they was talking about how ninjas were so myth, like people just thought they were myths, like they were mythical people and shit. But these were real motherfuckers. They was really hiding in bushes and assassinating motherfuckers and
in
shit.
The shadows.
Yeah, like, but it was crazy because like these people were actually farmers and
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
word?
They were
Yeah,
actually
I heard about
they
that.
were actually farmers
Yeah.
who were trying to just live life away from the what was it, the shogun?
Shogun.
The shogun is like the lord of the land or whoever, you know what I'm saying? And the samurais are like his protection and shit.
Right.
So the samurai, the only reason for the samurai's living essence is to protect the shogun. Anything the shogun says, the samurai has to do. The farmers were trying to protect themselves from like the military and shit, because at one point in time, Asia was trying to unify itself as one. You know what I'm saying? All these other ethnicities and shit, they were trying to, you know what I'm saying, unify as one and shit. So like these farmers and shit would get caught up in these wars and shit, and they have no way to protect themselves. So what they did was they started taking the tools that they were actually using out in the field and start training themselves and their children on how to use them as weapons and shit. That's how you come up with some of the weapons that they actually use. Like they didn't never use really like swords. They got these crazy ass weapons and shit. Like when you watch the movies and shit like that,
sickles and shit.
Like if you know, nunchucks weren't ever really supposed to be used like that. Nunchucks were actually a beating tool for rugs.
Damn, for real?
Yes, they were beating tools, and they used them for rugs, and I think they used them for trying to lay down grass and stuff like that. So they would go through and like hit the shit like that, and they just started turning this shit into weapons, and then they started developing clans and shit like that, and then it started trickling down to their children. And they started raising they start raising their children up, and the Shawnees and all of those names that you get and stuff, like the Junin and all of that shit. Those are real names in those cultures, and it was thought to be unethical for a ninja to ever kill for money. That didn't start coming until later when the Shogun actually started using rogue ninjas as his assassination products or whatever you want to call them and shit. So like that shit, that Asian culture, that Japanese culture, that shit is deep as fuck, bro. That shit deep.
Shit, I ain't know nothing about that shit.
That's some research I gotta do.
Hell yeah.
That shit's real, yo. It's real. It's real. And they was taking motherfuckers out. But it was really rare that they used them.
Damn.
Speaking of, I got a question for everybody.
Oh, shit.
Somebody asked me this shit today because I was feeling fucked up about some shit. I told you I was doing my bills and shit. They were like, if you didn't have to worry, or if you could be off for a year and you didn't have to worry about money at all, money wasn't even like a fucking obstacle. Like, you can use money however you want to. For a whole year, what would you do? For an entire year, 12 months.
And money was no object?
Money was not an object, bro.
Travel
you ain't
all
got to
around
work.
the
You ain't
damn
got to do
world.
nothing.
I would travel all around the world, learn as much as I can fucking learn. Because by the end of that year, I know how to make the motherfucking money. Once money becomes something that I got to fucking really rely on after that year, I know how to do it. Because I can self-sustain. I can go to these different countries, figure out how the ecology and shit works at the different geographical terrains. I'll rent some places in some of those areas and grow shit, bring that shit back. At the end of the year, I wouldn't have to focus on the money.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'll probably learn more about my culture.
Well, I was thinking about traveling, but shoot, I'll be stacking up because I know next year.
Well, my black ass was like a little bit further than traveling and shit. I was like, motherfucker, if money ain't an option for a year, I'm going to space.
Nah, I ain't going out there.
I'm going to space.
Hey, speaking of space,
people,
bro.
People literally die on this earth and never get a chance to see where they live.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is deep.
No. I watch it from National Geographic.
Hey,
Oh
hold
my
on.
God.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I want to know, because there's been this whole conversation that's been going on Instagram, if the world is flat or if it's round. I want to see that shit. I want that. I agree with that. I want to see
Like
it
what
for my damn self.
is the planet?
Yeah.
Earth.
They've already discovered that it is not flat.
Yeah, see?
Have
See
they?
what I'm saying?
What
That's-
y'all
But
think,
just
though?
go out there
What y'all
and bring
think?
back
What
a
you think?
report.
You think it's round? You
I
think it's
think
flat?
logically, it just doesn't make sense for the planet to be flat.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make logical sense when you think about like gravity and how the water, you know what I'm saying,
I mean,
travels and shit like that, because you have to have a runoff effect.
yeah.
in order for the water to flow across the planet. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some type of slope. If you cut that slope off, then where does the water go? It doesn't. Gravity's just not gonna compact that shit. You know what I'm saying? It like you think about squares. Squares have edges and shit. There's a cliff. Shit has to fall off of that shit. But you got sinkholes and shit. So there are sinkholes that where they lead nowhere. They found them shits like they just don't go anywhere. They can't find out the depth of that shit, and they can't even go that far to understand. So it's possible that, you know what I'm saying. With that being said, if that's possible, it's possible that the Earth could be flat or another shape.
Yeah,
It could be a fucking sphere.
Yeah, I mean they say that the objects that we put in space circle around, to try to get pictures and images. So I mean, look, I ain't see no flat drawings. Who was the first person who actually showed a map of the world being flat? I forgot who it was.
Was that Galileo? That wasn't Galileo. I don't know.
It
was somebody white.
People.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I know it was somebody white.
Some
who did that
Europeans
shit.
or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, they showed that the world was flat.
They
but
probably credited for that shit, but
But
I don't know. But I mean, I think not 90 of those days, 90 of those, like you said, when we got a whole year of not spending money, 90 of those days, I would spend lying on my back because NASA would pay out $15,000 to see how gravity works, and I'm like, shit, I'll do that. I get more bread on top of that. So
What?
That's what I do. Yeah.
They pay money
They
to see
pay
how
15
gravity works on your
grand,
body?
15 grand to lay in bed for 90 days to see how gravity works.
How do you study gravity?
Bro, I have no
Gravity
fucking
though, you know what I'm
idea.
saying?
I'm like, at the end of that
Like-
day, y'all can do whatever way y'all want to.
Like
I
that's the
don't know.
type of shit that like mind boggles me. Like
Yeah.
gravity, like that concept within itself. To know that the only reason that we cling to this earth is because that the gravity is so heavy here. On a planet where there's no gravity, your ass is just fucking jumping over goddamn.
Mhm.
floating the fuck away.
Floating away, bro, and in space. Like I've been watching a lot of space movies and shit like that, and I'm just seeing like, yo, like it's a whole nother world out there and shit. Like space literally looks like, it literally looks like what the fuck we live in. Like if you walk around, like if you look at some of these atoms and some of these chemicals and shit like that, they look like little planets with fucking moons and different other planets around them. Like they have their own solar system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, what if space is just a bigger version of our natural lives? You know what I'm saying? What if there are beings bigger than us who think that space is just air and shit? You feel me?
Yeah. That's what them UFOs and shit probably be fucking going off of and shit.
Well, that's why they keep studying space, because they feel like soon they're going to destroy this planet with, pollutants and toxins and stuff, and they want to be able to have the elites go live out in space.
Hell yeah.
But I ain't with that. Nope.
Yeah, we're living in
I
space.
heard they was building
No.
a hotel out in space, man.
My thing is, I feel like in the universe, I don't feel like we're relevant.
Nah.
I
I
just,
see
you
what you're saying.
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just, I feel like we're just like an anomaly. Like we're just here, and we do live, we exist. You know, we believe in what we believe in. But like, as far as the universe is concerned, like it really doesn't burden. It's really not a burden or anything.
I literally just learned yesterday there's this planet named HD and like a bunch of other numbers, and they said that it's equivalent to what the Earth is, but the wind there is 7 times the speed of sound.
Damn.
And rain.
How do you
And
calculate
they,
that shit?
And they said that rain is molten glass.
What?
Yeah.
Bro.
No.
Yeah.
I'm staying
Nah.
right here.
Oh,
Word.
hell no.
Yeah, it's bro. They got so many other planets out there,
Yeah.
bro. It's like we can't go that we can't even go past certain
Right.
galaxies,
Right,
or
right.
certain planets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the deeper you go, it's like trenches here.
And
It's
it's
like
a
water.
reason why we're not able to go there, because we
Yeah.
don't belong there.
You think so?
I know, so.
I don't know about that. yo.
Yeah, I don't know if
can't
I
say
can
that
agree with
shit.
that too much.
We
man.
are human beings. We are built with the wondering of just exploration. You know what I'm saying? Like we just naturally, that's what we do. That's what we're
Curious
here
as
for.
fuck.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we explore different religions and we explore different histories and different pasts and shit. Like all that shit. Everything that we study is like it's relevant in some type of way, and it's through exploration that we find out the things that we find out. You know what I'm saying?
They said with the damn pyramids, they still trying to figure out how they measured precisely each stone. That shit is laser cut, precise as hell. How can you do that? A lot of people say, this is what they say, aliens came down from space and played a role in that shit. And
Don't believe that.
Play a role with us.
Africans
Yeah, hey,
built
I believe that shit.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I said we came from space.
I believe that shit.
You get what I'm saying?
You believe we came from space?
Yeah,
In a way, I believe that shit.
There's this kid who said that he was, before he could even, hit the age of like 9 or 10 or something like that, he was talking at the age of 4, and he knew aliens before they even taught him aliens.
Word.
And he was like, "Yo, like this is where I came from," and he was like, he said that aliens and people from Egypt actually had a relationship. That's how they were able to build the shit in Egypt. And they said that there's a secret that you can unlock in the Sphinx, that if you can do that, you will discover what.
Wow.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah. And this is all coming from a kid who's even, again, before he hit the age of 9 or 10. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, but like that shit don't. I mean, everything. Yo, like the older I get, the more I start like getting out of my old ways of like the shit that we were taught.
Yeah.
And like you start getting older, and then you kind of start having a mental breakdown. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck do I believe?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is real?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it ain't. It's not like. It's not wrong for you to think that, because again, we can't act like we know everything.
Right.
How can we?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How
Like,
can we?
Yeah.
We live on one planet.
Exactly. So
You know what I'm saying?
you can't know everything about history, bro. It's like
It's impossible.
it's impossible. Yeah. So
Yeah, but, like,
your natural right is like the only thing.
The stuff that people talk about, like when they talk about like these supernatural human beings and stuff who can do things like I seen this girl who was crying diamonds and stuff.
Yeah,
one time.
yeah.
I seen this guy who
What the hell?
who had roots,
Crying diamonds?
who
I
had
saw
roots
that. I
growing
don't
out of
think
his
that was
body.
real.
I
Yeah,
seen that.
seen
I
that.
seen
Yeah.
the root shit, but diamonds?
Yeah.
How the hell?
Yo,
Come
she
on,
had
yo.
diamonds.
She had,
She was
every time,
crying
she would
diamonds.
push them out her eyes. Yeah.
She would, yo, that
So
shit
her
was.
family rich as shit, huh?
I don't
So
think
they
they
be
was
slapping her,
rich.
be like, cry, need some money and shit. Give me these diamonds.
No.
Hey, them bills
Give me these
stacking
diamonds,
up.
bitch. Pinch her and
Hey, them
shit.
bills
Give me some-
stacking
yeah,
up.
Yeah, hell
like,
yeah.
like, oh, no shit. I ain't got no fucking money. Slap her ass real
Right.
quick. You got my money,
Get your
ho.
ass up.
You got my money, ho. I know you got that shit.
Hey, that
Crying
shit's
diamonds.
real.
I ain't never heard of no shit like
that's
that.
real, man.
What you
Yeah.
think, Golden?
I think that shit is not real.
Oh
I saw that.
Son, come
And
on.
even if it
I'm looking
is
at her
real,
from across the table. She like, nigga, please.
and even if it is real, it ain't no precious diamond that you gonna get no value from. It's probably some type of cubic zirconia.
But like, if that shit coming from your body, that shit is precious.
Oh, assault?
No bullshit.
Hey,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
you need so much
Yeah.
pressure to make a diamond, and it comes out of you. Like,
Yo, she was crying them shits. Like she was like making herself cry, and then it would like literally turn into like a crystal,
yeah.
and it would become a
Yeah,
diamond.
it probably was
and
salt.
you need a whole lot of pressure to do it. She probably got high blood
But
pressure.
bro, you
yo.
gotta
Probably got high blood
understand. You
pressure.
gotta
She got
understand. You gotta understand. Yeah. I don't know, like different chemicals, you combine them together and they do some wild shit, man.
Yeah, I mean
You know,
that's true.
In the human body, it's still parts of the human body that they can't even figure out what we
Right.
made of.
They can't even figure out why we yawning.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
now they
that's-
starting to say like junk DNA, like you got junk DNA in your body. They saying it's more than just junk. Like there's a certain part of your DNA or some shit like that where it is actually relevant.
So what you're
But-
saying is some people are just full of shit.
That's what they say. But they said the same thing about the pineal gland. They said that shit wasn't relevant. But now they like, oh shit, that shit does make a lot of sense. Oh, it does this.
What is
and
the
this.
fucking pioneer gland?
It's in your brain. I ain't going. That's another episode.
Yeah.
What?
I ain't going too deep.
Oh, I can't get no
You better
fucking.
Google that shit.
Oh, that's that.
All the
bullshit.
listeners and shit. Google
See,
that
that's
shit.
why I shouldn't have went to college because niggas don't want to teach shit.
Hey,
You might as well just learn the shit through Google.
What is it? Hippomatus.
Hippomatus. See, y'all
Hippomatus.
spitting some shit I
That's
ain't
in
never
your
heard.
brain,
Of.
too.
That sound like an animal.
That's
Yeah, I don't know that one.
That controls your memory.
Word.
Yeah.
Shit.
What's
Hey,
the
don't
word
worry,
so I
don't
can say
worry.
it sound cool and shit on the street and shit?
Hippomatus.
Hippo what?
Hippomatus.
Hippomatus.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga, I got that hippomatus for your ass.
Hey.
Nigga.
Oh, okay.
I know about that shit. Boy, get your history right,
better
nigga.
get
You
your
don't remember
history
shit.
right.
Oh shit.
You gotta smoke too much weed, nigga. You need to smoke that hippomatus.
Lord.
I said it wrong.
Hey, I just learned that shit today too, though.
Oh
so,
shit. Yo, that shit crazy, man. That shit wild as shit though.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in the world, man. People talking about they clones and shit.
You talking? We don't even get on that, dude.
You know what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
exactly what you're talking
Oh,
about.
my
man.
God.
What's his serial number? Something.
Dude. 5166578
Yeah, I know.
Fill
yeah.
everybody in on that shit, man.
Man, you got some Dragon Ball Z, dude.
Yo.
What's that
Dude's
Dragon Ball Z
name.
dude?
I forgot. Yo, these new
his
rappers
name-
is wild
hey,
though, son.
Yeah, Kid, man.
Well, Kid Boo.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, DBZ. Oh
That's,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, he talking about he a clone and man, I don't know, dog.
He talking about Clonate, but Clonate is actually a real place though.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
But is that where they clone people?
They said that the founder of it was actually working on prototypes of clones, and this was back in the '60s. Don't quote me on that. It might have been that long ago.
But they've been talking about that shit for a minute. And they've
But-
been talking about that shit for a while with all these stem cells and shit.
I know that they can do copies,
I know they can, animals.
but
Yeah.
I don't think they've perfected cloning yet. Cloning is different from copying.
Oh really?
Yeah, because you can copy someone's human genetics and DNA.
Well, yeah.
And you
on
can,
a molecular
yeah,
level.
but you still have to go through a process. It still has to be put into a female's body, a womb, and still has to be produced a natural way and incubated.
That's the
Or
shit that
somebody-
gets me.
But cloning is a process that happens on its own. There is no need for any female components.
How the hell they supposed to do that without a womb?
The Matrix.
Man. I don't
That's
know,
the
man.
answer to that.
I don't know about this shit.
You want to take the blue pill? or the red pill? Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Tell me, Neil. Will you kneel
What
for
you
the
think,
flag?
Golden? I keep looking at you.
I think that these Caucasian people always trying to put their hands in God's work.
But it
Cloning people.
it don't just be Caucasian people though. This be people from all over the world who be into this type of shit. Like that's what we gotta get out of
Why?
that mind state. Like this shit. They've been trying to clone motherfuckers for a minute, make copies. Cause you gotta understand, for generations, kings and queens have been searching for a way to elongate their life. So they feel like at some point in time, you can take your consciousness and transfer it into another human being or a clone. So they've been trying to find ways to do that shit. That's why they got shit like youth juice and all these motherfuckers be talking about all this shit where they trying to
Youth juice?
yeah.
So why would you
Motherfuckers been
want
trying to
live
find the
forever?
fountain of youth. You ever heard of that shit?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been trying to develop that shit. Like they feel like the Lazarus pit is actually real.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's they that's why they've been making these fucking beds where you can just rejuvenate these Dragon Ball Z chambers, these
Hyperbolic
the
time
hyperbolic
chambers.
chambers. Them shits is real. Them shits is real.
Oh shit. That shit.
They said
crazy,
Michael
man.
Jackson had one of them Jones.
Word.
Yes.
Okay.
I keep looking across the table and shit.
I'm serious.
And I'm looking
bro.
at Golden's face, and this shit is priceless.
Hey, we-
Yo, it's crazy though. We living in a world that like of unknowns, bro.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of unknowns. But my thing is, let's separate fact from fiction. I'm not saying anything that we were talking about is fiction, but what's really real? That's just what I
How do you
want.
separate the two though?
knows.
How do
Nobody
you
knows.
separate fact from fiction when everything that has become fact is because of fiction? You know what I'm saying?
And,
I've been
You try to
drinking,
end
so
it.
I can't answer that question.
You know, how do you
I'm over here
separate
drinking.
that consciousness? It's all one, bro. It's all synonymous. I feel
wild.
like
Yeah. I mean, even if you got proof, people
because
still don't believe that shit.
yeah, but
It's
I
like-
mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
that's
but you have to believe it. You know why? Because a human being is literally an idea before it becomes a human being.
Okay. I
You
see where
have
you're
to
going with that.
actually think of having sex and having a baby and shit before it actually becomes one.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got some people who just don't give a fuck. They
That's
just
what
be
I was about to
fucking.
say. I'm about to say you forgot about those people. There.
Right.
Those are the ones who ain't ready for that shit.
Damn.
Some niggas just be fucking.
Yeah, they're just like,
Trying to get the pussy.
let's get it on.
Give me that pussy, baby.
Oh, shit, man.
No, I'm playing. She said, nigga, what? For real? You really want it? Nah, I'm playing.
Yo, so I was last night, man. I was listening to Wayne's album, Lil Wayne's joint. What's it, the Carter 5?
He got 5 Carters?
Yo.
Damn, he making clones and shit.
Back to that shit.
Oh, man. This is my thing about it, though. I was listening to the shit, and I wasn't impressed. I really wasn't.
Oh, this is a new album.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
shit just dropped. Like,
I haven't heard it, but I'm not surprised that you're not impressed.
I'm not impressed. It's,
Why not?
It's 2 tracks that I like. He did one with Kendrick.
Okay.
That shit was tight, but Kendrick did a whole lot better than I didn't
Of
like his
course.
verse. I didn't. I mean, it's
It's
already
Kendrick
plain and simple.
Lamar, dog.
Kendrick, in my opinion, Kendrick is better.
It's Kendrick Lamar.
But
he
Wayne,
writes his shit
Wayne's damn verse was booty. I didn't like the joint, man. I didn't.
But how often has Wayne had booty verses that just sound tight because
I
his voice sounds cool?
But see, I never really rocked with Wayne after like the first Carter. Like that's when his whole flow changed, and then it got revealed that Gilly the Kid was his ghostwriter. So I was like, okay, now I see this change, and it's ass. Must really be him. He's straight trash, just straight booty. But when I look at the whole album, and the other track was with Snoop Dogg, the shit was kind of tight. I fucked with it. Them 2 tracks were the only 2 that I liked, but overall, the CD is better than a whole lot of these new niggas' albums. Because he's appeasing to both parties. You know, we at the age where we know what real rap is.
Yeah.
We know what this mumble rap bullshit is. He's trying to appease to both. And that's why I wasn't truly impressed. Because I hear this old mumble shit, this, hey, I'm gonna do this, hey, yeah, hey. Like, I get tired of hearing that shit. Spit some fucking shit. All right? I don't like that shit. And the whole mush mouth shit, he did that shit now. But my main question is like, do you think that these old school rappers can make a comeback? And not just make a comeback, but revert the game back to how it was? They say history repeats itself.
Yeah.
So do you think that would ever happen where mumble rap, everybody say mumble rap is a phase. So is that shit gonna finally die off? Or is that shit gonna take the game over? It ain't gonna be nothing but bullshit rap.
So you got Jaden Smith, you got what's that boy name? You got Diggy Simmons, you got Denzel Curry, you got of course J. Cole, you got Kendrick, you got a bunch of other underground rappers. They trying to make it to the point where it doesn't steep like too low, to the point where it's like, let's go back to like Lil Wayne album. Lil Wayne didn't make an album that was gonna be on a Kendrick level. Like, this is Lil Wayne. Like, if you listen to Carter 1 through 4, people say that those are classic albums, but really, if you listen, you only gonna pick out maybe 3 or 4 songs from those albums that you really, really, really like. You know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne is the type of person who's gonna make an album on a tour bus while he's on tour.
Yeah.
While everybody else is probably gonna make their album in a studio, taking time with it.
Right.
So it's like when you got people like J. Cole and Kendrick and those people, they take time to hone in on
Key
that
things, yeah.
the art
Yeah.
of the actual album. You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to Wayne. Wayne will always be the GOAT, but
I
Wayne
disagree, but
you don't
I think
Wayne's
he
the
a
GOAT?
pretty good. He
But
all
you don't
right.
think he's a GOAT? You don't think he's a GOAT?
Nah.
So you
Nah.
want to give it to Wayne? So these
Nah.
people who I would give it to: Eminem,
Okay.
Wayne.
Are we
No.
are we talking about in reference to people who have been like changers in pivotal
Correct.
moments?
Because a lot of people
Okay,
will give
yeah.
credit to Wayne.
I
for
will give
them.
credit to him being a pivotal
Think about
moment
it.
in music.
Other than Eminem, who else?
You
would
talking
really be,
about overall?
who else other than Eminem?
He was a
who
he
else
was a
would you
pivotal
give?
moment
Now,
in the
see,
2000s,
but
bro.
the thing
Yeah.
about it with Wayne, I rock with Wayne hard when he was with Hot Boys all the way up to I Give You Carter 2.
So
That's when he was a game changer
Yeah.
there. Like that shit was fucking real.
But I mean, Go DJ was like that when he came out with
Yeah.
that shit, that was
Yeah.
like his changing point.
yeah,
After
Yeah.
that, he became the pivotal moment in
Yeah,
music
in
where
mu-
people should start transitioning
exactly.
from that motherfucking conscious type shit
Right,
to
right.
like some more type of motherfucker. First it was crunk shit, then motherfuckers start getting into some damn I don't know what the fuck came after that, and then it started becoming trap and shit.
Yeah.
So do
You
you,
know what I'm
think
saying?
that Wayne started this beast of
It-
mumble rap and now
He was a big transition because people wasn't really accepting Southern rappers like that shit. Because you had Outkast who was killing the fucking game,
Yeah.
but wasn't nobody trying to give no rap. You had Ludacris out here who was throwing
Yeah.
bars at niggas, but they
Yeah.
still was like, yeah. But like Lil Wayne, when he separated from everybody and he kind of came out with that, I'ma just freestyle, but that shit about to sound crazy as
Yeah.
fuck. Then niggas started talking more about nothing and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was really dog. So I thought about this the other day. Y'all know that song? I'm in love with the cool.
Yeah.
Y'all really think about that song? I feel like that is like kind of mumble.
hell yeah. I think it's booty.
Like that song, a lot of people really started trying to emulate songs like that.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
that's when you start hearing all these songs coming out from, all these little somethings.
But
So it's like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you really want to hear like real rap, I feel like again, I mean, you're gonna have to listen to the Kendricks and the J. Coles and all that.
I don't know. With Wayne's album, I felt like it was on some shit. Just like that episode of the Boondocks with the little thugnificent nigga.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, y'all, you doing motherfucking auto-tune and shit? Yeah, this is what the little niggas like and shit."
There you go.
Like, that's what I felt
Yeah.
like that shit
That's
was.
what- I
He's
mean,
like,
but
you
that's-
doing this shit on
that's
all
what
your
music-
tracks?
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So one thing I applaud Wayne for though is stick. So he did have a few songs that was like the mumble shit, but he still stuck to what he sound like. Like he didn't 100% convert over to like
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
He
like
did
what
a-
J
he did a
Cole did
balancing act with
what
it.
J Cole did with KOD, he ended up taking the mumble rap style and making it into an
Right.
album too. It's like yo,
And I think that's what like a lot of conscious rappers is trying
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
But like these young dudes, they not associating with that shit. They feel like to be conscious. I mean, it's kind of hard with the young kids and shit because we not like in that culture like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So they be on some shit. We be like, man, what the fuck? But we got realized when we was coming up, our parents and shit was like, yo, what the fuck is Tupac talking about and shit? You know, what the fuck is Biggie, like, Biggie, my dude, you know what I'm saying? At least I know who he talking about and shit. You know what I'm saying? But back then, Biggie was Lil Wayne and shit. And Pac was like motherfucking Kendrick and J. Cole and shit. To
Okay.
a certain
I
extent.
see
You know
what
what I'm
you're
saying?
saying.
You know what I'm saying? He was the more conscious shit. Biggie was more so like, you know what I'm saying, about the money and the bitches and all the crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But he just made more sense because he could articulate.
Right.
These little niggas now is just took
just-
articulation completely out of rap.
That's it.
And
Dumbed it down.
They
yeah.
using the beats. They
Yeah.
using the beats to boost them and amplify themselves more because
Lupe
like
said that shit best.
it's crazy
I
as
think
shit,
the talent
dude.
is not there. That's
It's
what it is.
not.
Their talent is sorry.
Yeah, I say
These
no,
singers is can't
I
sing.
say LL Cool J said it the best. He said the chorus is what paying the bills.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
that matters.
hook.
Yeah, that's some
That's
true
it.
shit.
And
That's
I think
it.
like rappers now, old school rappers, they probably look at these young niggas like, well, shit, motherfucker got to get his money. They know how the game go and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's all about money and shit. Ain't nobody, I feel, in the rap game now making music because they love music or they love art and
but
shit.
I think that shit changes. I think when you first start out, they do it because of what they're hungry. And then when you finally eat, you full. So you just like, all right, I'm going to do this shit. So you doing this shit being hungry, trying to go hard. This is who I am. Now that I got this $1 million check, all right, I'm going to just give y'all some shit. Just because.
I think it's the opposite.
You think the opposite?
Yeah.
You think they start off with some bullshit?
Yeah.
And then get better over time?
I mean, maybe their label might be pushing them to do something else, but they in their heart want to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
But they
Like
gotta get that money. So
like, would you
whatever
say
pay the bills?
Would you say like the Amigos would be kind of like that?
No, I think they want to do that shit.
You think they want to do that shit? Because people been saying like they actually gotten better.
And that was me. I said, Migos, they have gotten better. You can hear what they saying now, and they spitting some pretty real shit if you hear it. You gotta hear that shit like 3-4 times. I ain't gonna lie.
But then you got
But
motherfuckers
when you do
like,
it,
yeah.
that shit, they
But then you got motherfuckers like 6ix9ine and shit.
man, get the fuck
Oh
out of here.
God, boy!
Get the
Look
fuck
at
out
that
of here,
dude
man.
right there.
He admit that he just
Shit.
come in the studio.
But
on
yo,
some
I
bullshit.
really,
Yeah, he did.
I really
He
feel
did.
like it's a team. Like you know how you be having them white boys who be like on that red bullshit where they just want to do crazy shit just so people can like their page and shit. Yeah. I feel like he one of those people that like they like the studios or somebody developed a team and picked him to be that motherfucking character so that they can make money off of him just being stupid and shit. Telling him, like, listen, we want you, like, listen, 6ix9ine, we really think it would be cool if you go to Chicago's hood. You know, you've been talking about those guys and be calling them niggers and all that kind of stuff. Go to their hood, stand in there and say, hey, guys, you can't fuck with me. I'm in your hood. You know what I'm saying? He go out and do that shit at the best time and shit. Because they had this video where he went out to Chicago. He been talking about, what's that dude with the dreadlocks who's crazy as shit?
Drito.
The other one who always kept getting locked up, the young boy.
You talking about
Chief Keef. He was talking mad shit about Chief Keef, and you know how unstable that nigga is.
Yeah.
So he going out there in their neighborhood and shit, standing in the street and shit, like, man, I'm out here and shit where ain't nobody even outside. Ain't nobody even here and shit. It's rain on the ground. Now they had some real niggas from that hood come and do a video and shit where they like, yo, where the water at? Where the water at? What time was this nigga here? Cause everybody out here right now. Yeah. It's like they was like that motherfucker went out there at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't nobody out there and shit. Made the video and then put it on the freaking on
the gram.
Yeah.
Word.
And try to play. I think he be doing that shit because when I listen to like how they when I listen to what they talk about and how they do it and I see it, I'm like, yo, this is all propaganda. Cause they on the phone, he's literally telling this dude to calm down, give the fans what they want, while they argue about stupid shit that makes no sense to society at all. Completely irrelevant. And then everybody's just like, oh my gosh, I love you, 6ix9ine. Bing! And it's just coming and running down their face. They're like, oh yeah, what up, Wolfie? What's good, cuz? You know what I'm saying? Back to this, you know?
Ain't that what they used to say before though? Twitter beef. I guess it just turned over to what Instagram Live.
Right.
Beef.
And I think it's accepted now. Like niggas like that shit. Like, yo, Twitter beef is real. Like he's a real guy. Yeah. He's really upset about this shit. He's really upset that somebody talked about his chain being ugly. His chain's ugly as fuck, but he's upset.
Wow. That's so straight.
That nigga be saying, can't nobody touch me, ain't nobody do woo woo woo. I'll guarantee you I'm a blood, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn.
What y'all think about, where do y'all see the rap game in the next couple of years? The way it is now, how you think that shit gonna be in
it's
like
going
3
to turn
years?
into a bunch of niggas just making sounds and shit. Motherfuckers going to get on track, be like, boop,
like that little shit on YouTube with the little...
Yeah, they gonna be like fucking Sims. They gonna be like fucking Sims and shit. Scoop up, beep bop, boop bop. Bow, bow, bow.
Sounds like some wild thornberry shit.
They gonna be like some motherfucking Sims and shit.
I don't know,
think-
man.
Nah, I feel like the people who are listening to this music now, they probably gonna like change the game back up. They probably, like you said, history repeats itself, man.
So you think it's gonna repeat?
I think it's
Yeah,
gonna
but
go. I think
history-
it's gonna go back. I
History
think it's
repeats
gonna go
itself, but it always looks different every time.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So they gonna be doing school bop beep bop 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 on motherfucking
Nas beats and shit.
yeah, motherfucking Nas beats and shit and Hail Mary and shit.
Hey, don't we already got a dude doing that shit?
Oh,
From the
Gonna be
UK?
like, what the fuck
Are you
is that?
serious?
What's old dude name from the UK? Scooby Doo bop bop.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
the
yeah.
dude, man?
Yo, it's really a dude like that?
Men's not hot.
Yeah.
Oh, he threw in one word.
Boy, yeah. Men's not hot.
That's my
Yeah, I forgot about that
Yeah,
shit.
it's already getting to that point. So I mean, shit, like I said, man, I
Damn.
feel like it's probably gonna go back though. That's how I feel though.
What you think, Golden?
Yeah, I mean, who paying to listen to that? Who going to a concert to hear that mess?
Yeah.
It'll be
These
somebody.
little dudes, these little
Somebody
kids,
will
these
do
little
that
kids
shit.
growing up watching YouTube videos of grown ass men playing with toys and shit.
Yeah, you right.
That's who gonna be at that
Yo,
that
they
sound
got
like my
man,
daughter.
they
Lord,
got-
I ain't paying for that.
shit. Yo, that shit crazy,
Yeah, they
son.
got grown men in music videos twerking now, dog.
What?
Are you serious?
No.
Yeah.
No. What you mean?
Nah, I'm talking about. That's that. Yeah.
Are
that's
you serious?
Rapping
yo?
and twerking, bro.
Rapping and
Rapping
twerking?
and twerking.
At
This
the
is-
same
this is
time?
At the same time.
Oh,
At
okay.
the same damn
Do
time.
anything for
Is
money,
it?
man. Just like the dude
Oh, he
who
black.
had the damn
It's a
what he
black
had
dude.
the wedding dress on
Oh,
with his
yeah.
mouth on the
Yeah.
motherfucking
Yeah.
AR and shit. People do anything for
What?
money, man.
Yeah.
He
What's
got a
the-
wedding dress on with his mouth on an
Dude.
AR.
Yeah, I see.
Yes.
Like an AR, the gun
An
AR.
AR,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rapping
I
and
forget-
shit.
Yeah,
I
they
forgot
do
what
anything
his
What?
for
name-
attention.
What is he?
Boy.
He what?
Yeah, I forgot what his name was.
You can see
I
this
don't
shit?
know.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yo.
Yeah.
So it's
That
a
shit
toy.
is actually old. Like
Yeah,
that
it
shit
is
happened
old.
a while ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Anything.
And what he be
anything for money,
doing?
I guess.
Pulling? Why he got an AR in his mouth?
He rapping.
He rapping.
It's a music video
With a wedding dress on.
with a wedding dress, a motherfucking Dennis Rodman type shit, man.
Yeah.
Like you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, you can type in rapper with red dress. He'll come up on Google. He the only nigga that I've seen.
Sucking
that
on
shit.
an AR, yo.
Yeah.
Sucking on.
So
a
like,
fucking
do
AR.
y'all believe with all this shit happening that we are getting closer to the end of the world, or you think we're just in a transition?
Yo, a lot of people would believe that shit.
Because they've been talking about the end of the world since the beginning of the world.
Yeah.
I think it's going to actually get worse.
Yeah.
A lot worse.
I
We
feel
got
it's
a
gonna
lot
get
to go.
worse.
Well, I don't know what I think about that shit, man.
About the end of the world and shit.
Yeah,
About the
dog.
second coming is what they call it.
Man.
How do y'all feel about that shit? Like, because I mean, it be some shit going on, son. And I was thinking about some shit the other day, and that shit was just blowing my mind. I was just like, okay, you know how you got certain cultures out here that believe in dying and being reborn and shit. So I was just thinking about like, damn, if that is true, which I don't know if it is or not, but if I have died and come back to life, how many times have I died and come back to life? And if I died and come back to life, when I died, did I come back to hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we living in hell? Is this what hell looks like?
I be feeling.
And
like
we
that
came
sometimes.
back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't believe in reincarnation, but I would hope
I would
that
pray
I would take something from my last life
and learn.
and would have been better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, is everybody like? What if everybody here is someone who died and came, and somebody who died went to hell, and this is hell and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Not
on
saying
earth.
not saying that it's true. This is just all just
It's a lot of people that
Just-
believe
just
that hell is on
theological,
earth.
you know.
And there
just-
is no,
just reasoning,
there is
you
no
know?
when you die, there's a hell and a heaven. No,
Yeah.
hell is on earth.
Yeah.
You transform, you transcend,
Transcend.
from one body to the next. It's funny because I was watching 1804, the documentary, and we just posted it up on Instagram, and they were talking about that, and they were talking about how with the Haitian Revolution, how they were ready to die. They were dying for what they believed in.
Right.
They were ready to rebel. And when you get to that mind, that way of thinking, there's nothing that can
Right,
stop you.
'cause you're
They
not
had
afraid.
people jumping into cannons as they were getting ready to light them things. That's how much they were fighting. And they said it. They were like, you know, it was one guy, I can't freaking remember his name. It was a Dessalini or something like that. He was like, when I die, as they strapped him to a tree, and I think it was Bookman. That's what his name. And they tied a book to his leg. And they were getting ready to light it. He was like, when I come back, I'm going to come back as a mosquito.
Word.
And I'm going to kill everything.
Damn.
When he died, they had the whole, I can't remember the disease, but it did come from mosquitoes.
It
And
was a
killed-
malaria.
To my
It was,
now?
malaria. Malaria.
Yeah.
Came and got all the French people.
Damn.
Killed them all. Didn't even touch the Africans.
Shit.
They were immune to malaria.
Word.
The dude Bookman, if you research Bookman, because the dude was a genius. The man, he knew plants, he knew wildlife, he knew everything. With the Haitian Revolution, they met in an alligator swamp because they know that the white people weren't going to come down there to even try to fuck with them. That's how much they were in tune to the
I
earth.
did hear something about
to the-
that.
in
I
tune
did
to
hear something about
plants.
that.
In
Yeah.
a fucking alligator swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't
Plotting.
going in.
But see, like that's the type of stuff that I be like thinking about, like reincarnation and stuff. Like none of this stuff that we believe in just comes out of the ass. Like people
Yeah.
don't just think this shit up and it's just here. Like all of that stuff originates from something. Because if you think about it, every plant that dies on this planet is reincarnated somehow. You know what I'm saying? When a plant when a tree falls over, it falls to the ground, it decays. That decay is fed into the animals. The animals spread that shit throughout the land, and then it comes back up as new plants.
Everything is life.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That decay actually becomes fungus that we actually eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we put it into our foods and stuff, and we give it to our children. So we ingest all of that shit, and then when we excrete whatever our bowel movements, and when you take a piss and shit, all that shit, you're putting that shit back into the earth.
Yeah.
It's actually
shit.
to where you can
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
have your asses be turned into a tree.
Yeah,
Right.
I seen that shit.
Oh
Right.
yeah. I saw
Yeah.
that too.
So like it's crazy like not to kind of believe in reincarnation, because they say that Jesus was reincarnated, and then they say that Lazarus was reincarnated. So why is it so crazy
Where's
to
this coming
believe
from?
that we're not able to be reincarnated
I
as
believe
well?
in it.
You know what I'm saying?
I believe in it.
And this is in your Bible.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it
That
is.
tells you not to believe in some of the stuff that we're talking about right now,
Yeah, it is. All things become new.
which I don't want to take shots at the Bible, because I love the Bible, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate it for what it is and what it does for me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just a wanderer, investigating.
I feel like where we are in life right now, because we all around the same age, and this is what
I
we
don't
were
know
talking
about
about
that.
before. But they always say, you either unlearn what you've learned growing up, but before you do that, you test what you've already been learned.
Yeah.
It's just like in school where they was like, okay,
My son's
third
teacher
grade.
was talking about that.
yeah, third grade, you learn how to do math this way.
Science.
You go to
Oh, I
fourth
thought you said
grade
my
and shit, they
son.
were like, okay, fuck all that shit you just learned,
Not
you
yet,
gonna do
boo.
it this
Not
way.
yet.
Yeah.
So it's like you just unlearning what you need to fucking learn now. And I feel like that shit applies in life now, man. It's like test what you already been born learning
Yeah.
and see if that shit is actually true. Verify that shit. Trust but verify.
That's
If
it.
you don't shut up,
Don't tell where that came from.
That's in that unknown known, okay? That we ain't gonna talk about. But I think that shit is like real, man,
Yeah.
because I mean, we can get into the whole Bible debate. I grew up in the church. My grandma was a pastor and all that, but some of that stuff that I've been researching is just not adding up to me. So I'm trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is like, okay, some of these parts of the Bible were written by Shakespeare. So I'm like, all right.
Right.
written
Seriously?
by Shakespeare.
Yes. Some of that stuff is written by Shakespeare.
And then on too, like the Bible has been like translated in so many different ways over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of hard to keep up
And
with.
there's some books missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's books missing.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What book is that? The book is it Eli or Enoch? Which book is that?
I heard of Enoch.
Is it Enoch? where they talk about the angels, the battle of the angels and shit between Satan and God, and all the angels falling and basically mating with human beings and shit like that.
I've heard of that.
You know what I'm saying? There's a book missing from out the Bible, so like
It's a lot missing out the Bible. I always think like this.
And
Everything comes from some place. Not to cut you off. But for me, the ancient mystery system in Egypt, I feel like that's where it started, and everything just worked from there. That's just how I see it, you know, and everything turned into Bible, voodoo, everything else.
But you
Go
know,
ahead.
I mean, I was just going to mention, like, you know, we got the Bible, but then what a lot of people don't know is that there has been a Bible developed for Satan.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And it was developed by a Catholic monk or some shit like that. It was some type of monk where they locked his ass up, and he just started coming up with the books of the Bible about the devil, for the devil and shit. Like the devil was basically influencing him to make this Bible and shit. They got it in an archive somewhere. But like when I seen that shit, I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like there is a balance, but there is a positive and negative. Like, you know, there is some symmetry to the shit that we live. Like you're either too far negative or you're too far positive and shit. And both sides can equal something really fucking bad. Something even, you know what I'm saying, catastrophic. Like, cause you got pastors who are too good that they don't understand how people that are bad feel, and they go above and beyond, and they become fucking worse than the demons that they trying to combat themselves.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got people who are too far gone that they don't understand what they're doing to the people who are trying to make life better, that they just become oblivious and they lose their soul to the very thing, you know what I'm saying, that they thought was making them happy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Making them live.
That shit crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like this one guy, he explained to me like there was 4 quadrants to life and shit. He's like, there's 2. You got the positive and the negative. You got positive at top, negative at the bottom. But then you got 4 quadrants inside of that. You got the positive negative. You got the positive positive. You got the negative negative, and you got the negative positive. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Which region are you in?" And he starts talking about witches and warlocks and like their place and all of that shit. You know, it got real crazy. It got crazy, but at one point there are witches out here.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who practice this dark magic. There's people who practice all kinds of satanic things, but then there's people who practice positive magic and healing magic and shit like that too. Like there are people out here who can heal you with electricity through their palms. Say you don't believe it.
Everybody turn and look at me. I don't want none of that. Thank you.
But this shit crazy, man.
It is. It's a crazy world out here, man.
It is, yo. But hey, without further ado, let's get my man Kyrell out here to do his thing. You know, I think we at that segment of the show where they need to show what you do, man.
Hold on, let me.
You gonna beatbox.
Make this shit happen,
Ready to do
bruh.
this shit?
Let's do this shit.
You right? I'm gonna do this old school. We gonna do it like this.
Yeah. When the flow, you know. Creative mind, yeah. Look. Hands are like ghost riders, setting pages on fire since I was a toddler. A scholar in the school of hard knocks, I went to Carver. A white boy for wearing collar shirts with straight posture, but was known for having goals to blow up like Pearl Harbor. So watch me conjure up a storm bigger than Poseidon. Attract the attention of other people like seeing sirens. We too electric, that being said, we can't be siphoned. Let's be honest, fusion go tough like meat that's on the bison. Bad to the bone, just call me osteoporosis. I'm fragile to the fact that me just ever losing focus, but never that. I got the mind of a lion that's ferocious. I keep it together like titties on a Hooters hostess. It's all fun and games, but in the end we get ambitious. K Scott and 5, true music, we mean business. The culture over everything, she's right and I'm a witness. We write to us because of us, the music is religious. Yeah. Keep it going, huh? Yeah. I keep it going, yeah. Yeah. Keep it going, yeah. Look. I'm hotter than some chicken cooking in the kitchen, finger licking. Listen, stop your bitching. Winter in the building, get a gripping. Pay attention, flow expensive like I'm Lagerfield. I'ma do some stinking with my swagger, keep the badger sealed. K Scott is my name, and it's the Winter Group. The door's about to fly open, no screen door. I have a passion for this music, I don't need a fruit. They said fuck this beat, but I'm already sore. The rubber tour, now the game is pregnant with a mixtape. Expedia bars, but you don't get a fixed rate. Get an Expedia bar, so I fly high. Figured out the circumference of the money, I'm Bill Nye. I got my eye on you people, no optometrist. My blood is flowing through this music, bump the gynecologist. No, I'm not a girl, but I can bitch something serious. I'm headed for the glory this time of the month, period. Chasing demons with beamers, at least that's what I'm dreaming. I was getting higher for life, so I don't need the leaning. I think it's hot, so it's getting time for that summer cleaning. Beating in this beat till it's bleeding, just call me misdemeanor. I think it's time for me to eat because I'm getting hungry. I ain't talking honey, talking carrots like I'm Bugs Bunny. Trying to get my vision straight because I'm headed for the money. Life ain't a cartoon joke, but y'all are dug funny. Funny like TBS, I don't stress, card depressed, that's a good thing. We bring a finesse to this threshold bowl. Watching my steps, spec check, watch the duet. We never see you depressed, and nevertheless, the eyes are focused in like overheads. Bred to be winners, but Sari Lee couldn't understand. Spread the dance with any chance I partake greatly. And the Winter crew is smooth as parquet, baby. We give more props than drama class. That's a fact. Stick to what we know whenever swinging it fast. When it's someone else that stands to clamp on the bat. Mind your business in this game just like a sociopath. I keep it super like Nova. Music is in that gopher mode. Underground, swear it's never soft like areolas. My homie's from Brooklyn, he can vouch to with bonkers. Beats stay on his mind, you would think that he's sponsor. The faculty is creating alchemy. We're the masterpiece to what you asking me for. We cooling your cores, we screaming out more fire than some Indian burns. My whole crew is sick, son, you couldn't hang on my germs. That's word.
Damn! That's your boy, Kyrell Scott.
Yes, sir. Winter flow, baby.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you smell what the rock is cooking?
Man, you got an album about to come out, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we just released the album. Hopefully, pre-orders are gonna be on October the 7th, and you'll be able to download it on the 12th. Yeah, we dropping videos. We got a promo video out. We got the official track list. If y'all want to follow me on Instagram, it's Kyrell, Kyrell Scott, Scott. That's all one word. Shout out to my homeboy number 5. Yeah, we just dropped it. It's gonna be 6 tracks, so definitely be on the lookout for that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I can't wait till that come out.
Hell,
I hope that.
It's gonna be on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Pandora, like all that.
And everything that he got, we'll repost on Dirty Mouth Radio and Creative Mind Online.
Yeah, you gotta let me do one of those little
What?
on that shit.
Wicked. This a cranial beat.
Hey, let's do it next time.
Hey, but it's your boy, Comedic Energy.
Yes, sir.
Golden.
Cranial.
Appreciate it. It's Kyrell Scott once again, baby. Let's do this again.
Yo.
Yeah, this is fun.
And this is Dirty Mouth Radio,
Dirty
produced
Mouth Radio.
by Livewire Sound.
Produced by Livewire Sound Entertainment.
Yay.
I'm just an echo song. I'm sorry. I tried to make it sound cool.
And we out. Get me.
Yeah.